Hello everyone and welcome to the Batfeed, your source for all things Batman and DC. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything we know about the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. So everything we know so far from a behind-the-scenes standpoint has to do with the release date, the rating, all that kind of stuff. So we'll start with those two things. The release date for the movie is June 25th, 2021, so that's next year, and the rating expectation is PG-13, along with most of their other superhero movies. That's pretty expected. And the reason I'm making this video now is in light of the fact that filming has been halted due to coronavirus. So there won't be a ton of new info, so I'm kind of just summarizing this all for you guys to know what the deal is. As far as connection to the DCEU, this movie is not related to Ben Affleck's Batman in any capacity as far as we know, and it's going to have very loose ties to the DCEU as a whole, while still making minor connections here and there. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to that, seeing it kind of a new spin on Batman taking place in the DCEU. So first up, we have Andy Serkis as Alfred, which I'm personally pretty excited about because he has had a lot of major franchise characters over the years, and also over the past few years, they've all kind of been killed off. So it'll be cool to see him in this capacity because this Batman film is the first of a trilogy, so it'll give him a chance to be part of a franchise again, and also he's just a really freaking talented actor. Next up, we have Robert Pattinson as the title character, as Bruce Wayne or Batman, and I'm pretty excited for this. He's been in a few good movies since Twilight, because I know a lot of people are really worried he's going to screw it up because of Twilight. But he's had a few good ones. He's been in Good Time, Rover, High Life, recently with Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse, which sounds like it's pretty good based off of what I've heard so far. So I would recommend checking those out and giving him a chance, because I'm pretty sure he'll be able to pull it off well. And now we have Paul Dano as the Riddler. I've never seen him act in anything, but he certainly looks the part, and I'm excited to see the take that he brings to the character, especially since the last character that we had was Jim Carrey. So next up is one I'm really excited about. It's Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. The last Catwoman that we saw on the big screen was Anne Hathaway's take in The Dark Knight Rises, and that was really good. And then before that, we have Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns, which is also excellent. So this is going to be really cool because she's a pretty great actor. Her dad, Lenny Kravitz, was in Hunger Games. Her stepdad is Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman in the DCEU. She also voiced Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie. So she's kind of not entirely new to this role. She also recently starred in Fantastic Beasts as Lita Lestrange and did a really excellent job playing that role. I'm looking forward to seeing her take on Catwoman on the big screen. The next character in the roster is the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, who also had a role in Fantastic Beasts as Percival Graves. He certainly looks the part and could be like right up there alongside the Telltale version of the character or the Gotham version of the character. And the Penguin's just one of those really iconic characters, and I really hope he at least has an umbrella or a top hat or something. I don't know. Batman has a lot of supporting characters in his family. Batman has a lot of allies in his crusade against crime, and one of the major ones is Commissioner James Gordon. For the Batman, he's going to be played by Jeffrey Wright, who has had a lot of major roles, including Westworld. He's also had numerous voice acting roles and was in Quantum of Solace back in the day. Jim Gordon is one of those people that really defines the character of Batman in the same way as Alfred or even Robin to an extent, so I'm really excited to see this take on him. The last major role in the Batman is John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. And Carmine Falcone is like an intrinsic part of the underworld in Gotham City, the Roman. The last time we saw Carmine Falcone on the big screen was John Wilkinson in Batman Begins. My theory with the character in this movie is that rather than like in Batman Begins where he had a major role, he might just be another element to the story that's not necessarily like a main part of it. The last four actors that we know about are Peter Sarsgaard, who's playing D.A. Gil Coulson, who's a new character, Jamie Lawson as Bella Real, who's a mayoral candidate running for office in Gotham City, and Alex Ferns and Con O'Neill as Commissioner Pete Savage and Chief Mackenzie Bach, who these four characters haven't existed in the comics, so they're entirely new for this movie, and it should be interesting to see how they take a role. So what we know about the story, based off of what the director Matt Reeves has told us, is that it's going to be very noir-driven and very like delving into the detective side of Batman's career. It's going to be the second year of his career, so it won't necessarily be an origin, or maybe it will, I don't know, so much as just showing an already established Batman in Gotham City. The story is going to be based on Long Halloween and definitely has a lot of Zero-Year vibes too. A lot of the set photos have conveyed that. As far as the main villain of the story, people bounce back and forth on that one like crazy. A lot of people say it's going to be the Riddler. A lot of people say it's going to be an already casted character, like Penguin or Carmine Falcone or somebody like that. My theory is that the main villain is going to be the Joker, Batman's first encounter with his arch nemesis, because I think that could tie in really well to the Long Halloween story adaptation. The Joker could easily be plugged in for the Holiday Killer, or even somebody else. I don't know how they're going to adapt it, but that's what we know, and that's my take on the story. What we know so far about the Batsuit, the Batcycle, and the Batmobile gives a very interesting look into what direction this movie could take. We'll start with the Batsuit. A lot of people were rubbed the wrong way when these set photos got leaked, and I think that happens a lot because initially, each time a new Batsuit is announced, it's not entirely what people were expecting, and also, pretty much every actor that has played Batman has gotten flack from the fans about the role, and I don't really like to form an opinion about an actor until I've seen them actually play the role, and I think that a lot of people could gain a lot from following suit with that. So I'm excited to see Robert Pattinson's take on it. The Batsuit itself, we'll start with the cowl of the Batsuit. It looks a lot to me like the cowl from Greg Capullo's illustrations of Batman in the comics, and I thought that was really awesome because, I mean, just like every other iteration of Batman, Greg Capullo's illustration is unique and just brought an entirely new spin to the character. So to see that on a set photo, just kind of the repercussions of that there is really cool. A lot of people were upset about the gauntlets because it looks like there's a bunch of arrows or frills on it or something. And the reason I find that interesting is because it looks almost exactly like the gauntlets of one of the Talons from the Court of Owls story arc, and it would be really cool to see some kind of tie-in with the Court of Owls if they can make that work. The problem with that is the story itself might get a little convoluted if they keep plugging in all these famous arcs and characters, so we'll see what happens there, but that's what it hit me as. The bat symbol, I think this is a rumor, I don't know if there's actually much truth to it, but it looks like it's forged from the gun of Joe Chill, who killed Batman's parents. So it would be really cool if that's the route they took. It kind of reminds me of the Arkham Knight Batsuit. The rest of the suit reminds me of the Arkham Batsuit in that it looks modern and somewhat technological, but not overly. So that's pretty cool. The Batcycle, when I saw the pictures for the Batcycle, it looks almost exactly like the Batcycle from Zero-Year. So that's what leads me to believe that they're going to take a lot of inspiration from that story arc, especially if they're thinking about using the Riddler as the main villain. So we'll see how that plays out, but you can look up the set photos. I'll plug them in here. It's basically just a motorcycle with a forged bat head on the front, so there's nothing too special about it. But hey, it's the Batcycle, so that makes it special. Yeah. So pretty much right off the bat, Matt Reeves said that the Batmobile in his movie was going to not be as much of a tank. It was going to be more of a muscle car, which goes back to the roots of Batman back in the 1930s when he first came out. He just drove a red sports car around that became known as the Batmobile, and over the years that changed and evolved into something really cool. But Matt Reeves has kind of taken it back to those roots in a really cool way. The set photos that were released for that Batmobile show pretty much exactly what he said. It's a muscle car. It looks really technological, so that's kind of cool. It looks like Bruce Wayne could have put it together himself, which is also something that Matt Reeves is trying to convey in this movie. Initially, it didn't look like there was a bat symbol on it, but there's been a lot of photos that come out of the bat symbol shown kind of in the set photos in the technology, and Matt Reeves himself has said there's a bat symbol on the front and the back of the Batmobile. He's staying true to form in that sense. And that brings us to the end of this video. Everyone stay healthy out there, because this quarantine business is crazy, and we're all in this together, so support each other, be nice to each other, and remember, the night is always darkest before the dawn. I'll see you on the next episode, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.